So one of the more popular posts I had written on my blog recently was that on non-e-commerce. So I've become a big fan of not making money. And I'm sure there are many of you here today who might not be actually have e-commerce websites. And the nice thing is that there is a really wonderful area in Google Analytics that you can use to track effectiveness of your non-e-commerce websites. So I'm a huge fan of the BBC. That's sort of probably my primary source of information. And they don't sell anything. They just have a ton of content. And so how should they measure success? Typically what happens in this case is people use these metrics at an aggregate level to measure success. They'll say, oh, I want to know the amount of page views, and I want to know visitors and time on site. And I will use this. 10 minutes is a fantastic number, by the way. Oh, these numbers are not for the BBC. They don't use GA. They should, but they don't. That's a great time on site. It's like, oh, I feel good. 10 minutes is awesome. When was the last time you spent 10 minutes at a site? The interesting about averages is they hide the truth very effectively. So the average earnings per year between me and Bill Gates is $20 billion. I contribute 20,000 of that, and he contributes 100 billion a year. And that's the important thing to remember. Averages often hide the truth. So for example, rather than measuring the number of visitors and the unique visitors that come to a content site, in this case, you would assume that approximately each person comes twice. Right? 500,000, 1 million, that's kind of what it looks like. But these are all real numbers, by the way, for a site. The reality actually looks like this. The averages hide the truth effectively. When you do distribution, you get a much better understanding of what is actually going on the website. So notice, most people actually just come once to this hardcore content site that's trying to spam people with banner ads. God bless them. The distribution paints a radically different story. You have a big head, then it shrinks really quickly, and look what happens here. Whoa. There are these loyal, crazy people like me who are actually coming to this site 100, 200 times. If you actually understood that you have this swath of traffic, about 30-odd% of the traffic right here, that is spending between 14 to 200 times they're coming to your website, wouldn't you design the site differently? Wouldn't you react to them differently? Wouldn't your content strategy be different? This is a very, very powerful way of looking at data by simply using distribution rather than using an average. This is a great metric. If you are a content site, you want to know if people are loyal to your website, right? And then you compare over time, and you say, am I getting better or worse? I'm actually getting slightly better in July. I got 63% over there, right? Then it's recency. Again, purely for a non-e-commerce websites, it's important to know if that's your business, do people come again and again? Or when was the last time I actually saw Jim? It gives me an indicator of success. If I have good content about providing value to you, you will probably come more frequently. So on this hardcore non-e-commerce website, 66% of the traffic was brand new. That's, by the way, a stunning number for them to realize. Because they had designed all of their content navigation structure based on the fact that you knew them really, really well. They had no pages defining the value that their site was bringing to them. And yet there was this massive amount of traffic that was brand new to their franchise. So then you can go and figure out, hey, what's going on with recency? So this goes back literally. This website has had Google Analytics for more than a year. So you will go back, take the people who you have seen in this time period that you're interested in, and we'll go back all the way in history and say, hey, when was the last time you saw this person? Very powerful report. If you're doing a content site, you probably want people to be, over there, not over here. Another average one is people use time on site. 11 minutes over there, and look at the distribution. So you have lots of people who stay very little amount of time, And then you have a few people, a chunk of people here say really, really long amounts of time. This is very effective in you making decisions and measuring success of your website. Same thing with depth of visit. How much content do people consume? The wonderful thing about these distributions is that it truly helps you understand the value of a non-e-commerce website from your web analytics data. Are people loyal to you? Do they come back again? How long are they spending? And how much content they consume? And if you're CNN.com or you're SAP.com, you're any website that does not do e-commerce, if you want to measure success of your website, it's a powerful way for you to get started. The next thing you would probably do is you'll say, okay, let me segment this data. How do the numbers look from Google? How do the numbers look from my marketing campaigns? How do the numbers look for my more important keywords? You will segment this data and you'll begin to understand a lot more effectively what's actually going on the website and what action you should be taking. And my recommendation for non-e-commerce sites always is throw a survey up. I throw a simple little survey, 3 or 4 questions, and ask people what they thought of the content. This piece of data still does not, it's kind of sort of the value of content and other fuzzy metrics. So if you want to do fuzzy metrics, throw up a quick survey and I can say, hey, as a result of my experience, is my brand getting better? Is the likelihood that I'm driving people to offline sales better? Or 9 months from you, are you going to buy a big Caterpillar system from me because you're not ready to buy it now? So in combining a quick little survey methodology with what you saw in GA with these metrics, you can truly begin to understand if your content website, if your non-e-commerce website is performing as well as it should. And stay away from averages, at least in this particular case.